For centuries, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah has intrigued, terrified, and inspired humanity. The tale, originating from the Bible, describes two ancient cities consumed by divine judgment, obliterated in a rain of fire and brimstone. They have become symbols of moral decay, divine wrath, and the ultimate consequences of sin. But were these cities real places or mere allegories designed to instill fear and morality? In this exploration, we delve into the buried secrets of Sodom and Gomorrah, sifting through layers of history, archaeology, theology, and science to uncover whether these legendary cities truly existed. The narrative of Sodom and Gomorrah is found primarily in the book of Genesis, chapters 18 and 19. It begins with God deciding to investigate reports of egregious sin in the cities of the plains, Sodom and Gomorrah being the most infamous. Abraham, the patriarch, pleads for their salvation, bargaining with God to spare the cities if even 10 righteous people can be found there. However, the moral decay of the inhabitants is too overwhelming. Two angels, disguised as men, arrive in Sodom and are taken in by Lot, Abraham's nephew. When the townsmen demand to assault the visitors, their depravity becomes undeniable. The angels warn Lot to flee with his family, and as dawn breaks, God rains sulfur and fire upon Sodom and Gomorrah, annihilating them. Lot's wife, looking back against divine instruction, is turned into a pillar of salt, a powerful metaphor of regret and disobedience. This tale has inspired millennia of commentary, from moral sermons to artistic depictions, becoming synonymous with unchecked vice. But does this story rest on historical foundations? Beyond the Bible, references to Sodom and Gomorrah are sparse but significant. Ancient Jewish texts, such as the Talmud, expand on the narrative, portraying the cities as epitomes of greed and cruelty. In Islamic tradition, they are also condemned as places of corruption, their destruction attributed to divine punishment. These texts describe behaviors that contravene hospitality, a sacred duty in ancient societies, and emphasize the overwhelming societal degradation. However, no known Mesopotamian or Canaanite sources directly mention the cities. Critics argue that the story might have been a moral fable designed to highlight the dangers of impiety. Yet many researchers suggest that myths often have kernels of truth embedded in historical memories. Could the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah have been inspired by real events? For centuries, scholars and adventurers have searched for Sodom and Gomorrah, focusing their efforts around the Dead Sea, a region steeped in mystery. The landscape here is otherworldly, marked by salt flats, barren cliffs, and mineral-rich waters. It fits the biblical description of a place that smoked like a furnace. Early explorers such as William F. Albright in the 20th century posited that the cities lay beneath the southern part of the Dead Sea. Geological surveys revealed evidence of seismic activity and possible submersion of settlements. The southern basin, known as the Lisan Peninsula, showed signs of ancient habitation abruptly ending around 2000 BCE, coinciding with the biblical timeline. In recent decades, archaeologists have turned their attention to Tall el-Hammam, a massive Bronze Age site in modern-day Jordan. This settlement was one of the largest in the region, with fortified walls, palaces, and evidence of advanced urban planning. Excavations uncovered a sudden catastrophic destruction layer, characterized by melted pottery, charred ruins, and high-temperature damage. Radiocarbon dating places this event around 1700 to 1600 BCE, aligning with the possible time frame of Sodom's fall. The Dead Sea Rift, a tectonic fault line, has long been a site of earthquakes. Some researchers propose that an earthquake could have triggered the biblical fire and brimstone. Others suggest the eruption of bitumen and natural gases, ignited by a spark, could explain the fiery destruction described in Genesis. While the Bible attributes the obliteration of Sodom and Gomorrah to divine intervention, modern science offers alternative explanations. First, there's the meteoric impact theory. In 2021, a study led by researchers analyzing Tall el-Hammam suggested a cosmic impact event, akin to the Tunguska explosion in Siberia in 1908. The evidence includes microspherals, shock quartz, and high-temperature vitrification, indicative of a meteoric explosion. Such an event could produce the intense heat and devastation described in the biblical account. Next, we have the volcanic or geothermal eruption theory. The region around the Dead Sea is rich in bitumen and sulfur deposits. A volcanic eruption or a release of flammable gases could have ignited a massive conflagration. The biblical fire and brimstone might describe this natural phenomenon in poetic terms. And lastly, earthquakes and liquefaction. Archaeological layers in the Dead Sea region show evidence of sudden collapses consistent with earthquakes. A massive quake could have toppled buildings, ignited flammable materials, and even displaced water bodies, causing the destruction of settlements. Beyond physical destruction, Sodom and Gomorrah hold a deeper moral and symbolic resonance. Ancient societies viewed cities as microcosms of their values, and the downfall of these cities served as a stark warning. First, as a symbol of divine justice. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is often interpreted as a demonstration of divine justice. It underscores the idea that unchecked immorality, cruelty, and impiety invite destruction, not just for individuals, but for entire communities. Second, as a metaphor for human folly. Lot's wife, who looked back despite clear warnings, serves as a potent metaphor for human inability to let go of the past. Her transformation into a pillar of salt is a vivid image of the consequences of disobedience and regret. And finally, warnings against hubris. Ancient texts often critique the arrogance of city dwellers, contrasting their decadence with the virtues of rural life. Sodom and Gomorrah embody this critique, representing societies that prioritized wealth and pleasure over compassion and justice. Near the Dead Sea, natural salt formations have been nicknamed Lot's wife. One of these pillars, particularly striking, has fueled speculation that it inspired the biblical imagery. Similar stories of divine destruction appear in other ancient cultures. The Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh and Hindu texts, like the Mahabharata, contain tales of cities wiped out by divine wrath, suggesting a shared cultural memory of catastrophic events. Excavations near the Dead Sea revealed high concentrations of sulfur balls embedded in ancient layers, consistent with a fiery catastrophe. This rare geological phenomenon is often cited as potential evidence of the biblical event. The Dead Sea itself is an enigma. Its hypersaline waters, inability to support life, and surrounding barren landscape lend it an otherworldly quality. Ancient peoples viewed it as a cursed place, a fitting backdrop for the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Not everyone is convinced of the historicity of Sodom and Gomorrah. Critics argue that the biblical narrative serves primarily as a moral allegory, with no need for historical corroboration. They point out the lack of definitive textual or archaeological evidence directly naming the cities. However, proponents of the story's authenticity argue that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Ancient cities often vanish without a trace due to time, erosion, and natural disasters. The discovery of sites like Troy, once thought mythical, demonstrates that legend can have roots in reality. Whether historical fact or moral fable, Sodom and Gomorrah have left an indelible mark on human consciousness. They remind us of the fragility of civilization and the ever-present tension between human ambition and divine order. From Dante's Inferno to modern films, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah continues to inspire creativity. Its themes of judgment, redemption, and transformation resonate across cultures and eras. The cities raise profound questions about morality, justice, and the nature of divine punishment. Are their tales warnings for humanity, or reflections of human fears and hopes? Advances in archaeology and geology bring us closer to unraveling the mysteries of Sodom and Gomorrah. They also highlight the interplay between ancient narratives and the natural world. The buried secrets of Sodom and Gomorrah remain tantalizingly elusive. Were they real cities wiped out by a cosmic disaster, a volcanic eruption, or divine wrath? Or are they allegories teaching timeless truths about the human condition? As science and faith continue to intersect, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah challenges us to explore the mysteries of the past while reflecting on the enduring lessons they teach. These ancient cities, whether historical or symbolic, compel humanity to confront the consequences of moral decay and unchecked hubris. They serve as a stark reminder that civilizations, no matter how grand or prosperous, are vulnerable to destruction when they lose their ethical compass. The search for Sodom and Gomorrah is more than an archaeological quest. It is a journey into the heart of human existence, grappling with the delicate balance between progress and responsibility. Perhaps the true power of their tale lies not in proving their physical existence, but in their ability to inspire introspection, caution, and awe across millennia. Ultimately, the legacy of Sodom and Gomorrah endures, shrouded in mystery and alive in the imagination of every generation. Whether found in the ruins of the Dead Sea or in the depths of human consciousness, their story continues to resonate, a testament to the timeless allure of the buried secrets of the Bible.